Alrighty, hello, and good evening to all of you. Welcome back to another episode of Today's Weather Tonight. I am trying to mess with the gain on my microphone so that you don't pick up that terrible noise in the background. That is the laundry dryer to fix it. That's all I can do. Yeah, I guess I can see it metering on my mic. Anyway, I guess I'll just turn it up. I'll turn the gain up a little bit, and maybe I can talk over it if I talk in close enough proximity. No, it still shows up no matter how low I set the gain. So I'm gonna just put it where I normally put it and talk like normal. Let's see. We are gonna go ahead and get started by checking out our volcanoes today. Let's see if there was any big news. I'm gonna show on stream. There we go. Okay, taking a look at volcanodiscovery.com, we see Saturday, June 15th. Maybe we see Saturday, June 15th. Hello. All right. Well, the 16th is already pretty well populated as well. Let's see if anything pops out here on the 15th. We got images of Mount Ibu and Lewitobi. Sumeru continues to explode. So does Popo. Fuego had emissions observed on webcam and intermittent puffs from Sabancaya. Looks like we're looking at regular emissions from our main players. There's a nice picture of Sumeru. Here's Dukono on June 15th as well. So let's move on. I'm trying to make this show as short as I can so that we don't have to listen to this squeaking in the background. I mean, I'll still have to listen to it, but maybe you guys won't have to hear that. Let's see. I've got... Okay, so for our earthquake update today, we had 3, 4, 5... We had 5 earthquakes on the perimeter of the Antarctic plate. We had a 6.0 and a 5.8 here at the part of the plate that is near Mount Michael. Or is this Mount Erebus? Hold on. That's Mount Erebus. Mount Michael is the one in South Sandwich Islands. Near Mount Erebus, we had a 5, well, on the plate boundary, the part of Antarctica that houses Erebus, had a 5.8 and a 6.0. The 5.8 was at 0 kilometers depth, and the 6.0 was at 7 kilometers depth at Macquarie Island. That's actually just off the coast of between New Zealand and Antarctica, west of Macquarie Island. Let's see. And let's take a look at what else we got going on. Oh yes, there was also a 5.4 at Mount Michael, or near Mount Michael, South Sandwich Islands region. 5.5 and a 5.4, and both of those were at around 13 kilometers depth. Let's see, we don't have a fault plane solution on that yet. See what else. We had some mid-range 4s here in South America. We also had a stack of healthy 2s in Puerto Rico. Normal looking, at this point, normal looking band of 3s and 4s all throughout Mexico's Pacific coast. Our regular West Texas stack reached 2.5 in its magnitude today. We had a new 2.3 up here in Canada near Toronto, I guess, and a 1.0 in northern Jersey again. So those areas are heating up again. Our regular clusterfuck of San Andreas Fault rumblings going on, as well as some 2s happening out here in the Rockies. Then as we check out Alaska, we look at the places where we had a 3.5 here at 18 kilometers depth. We also had yesterday's 4.2 up here. What is this bigger one? Oh, another 3.5 up here as you get closer to the Fairbanks area. That's really in Denali National Park. That is accompanied by some 2.6s and a 3.5 out on the Aleutian Island chain, as well as a lot of tremor level quakes. Hawaii still stacking up there with yesterday's 4.1 showing up. Then we also saw some mid-range 2s accompanying that, going as far down as 36 kilometers depth, but as shallow as surface level quakes. Then as we head over to the Western Pacific, we can see a 4.3 here in the, well, that's not even the Kuril Islands. That's like, what peninsula is this? Aniva, Russia. That is the Sakhalinskaya Oblast, I guess is that island or peninsula. Then as we go up to, we go down, we see another Marianas Trench earthquake, only this time it was only 13 kilometers depth. There's a 5.6 right in the heart of the Philippines, also relatively shallow at 28 kilometers. There is diamond-shaped plate that we haven't seen much action in a while. So that is heating up. It looks like kind of the opposite of yesterday. We're getting the inverse placements of a lot of stuff. We've got a 4.9 at 10 kilometers depth right off the coast of New Guinea, Papua New Guinea. A 4.4 here in the Fiji Islands, and a 4.4 also. Oh, and that 4.4 in the Fiji Islands, that was at 520 kilometers depth. So there's our deep earthquake for today. And the 4.4 in northern New Zealand was also at 224 kilometers depth. So that's another of our deep quakes for today. Oh, I forgot to say there's also yesterday, where'd that filter go? There were some 4s showing up there. We had a handful going through the Himalayas today, as well as north of India and northwestern India into the Kashmir region. Then, of course, our regular cluster of quakes reaching all the way up to the 2.9 range here in Greece, near Crete and the Ionian Sea. Looking pretty healthy there. So that is our very brief earthquake update. Let's go ahead and take a look at our atmosphere. All right. Let's go for 30 frames. See what's going on out here. We've got a mesoscale discussion. Watch unlikely. Watch unlikely, but yet it contains severe thunderstorm warnings. We're warned for lime-sized hail. With a 2-inch large ball of ice being launched at your head at 70 miles per hour. That's the kind of damage, considerable damage we're looking at here. So that is quite unfortunate for this area because it looks like it is coming out of basically nowhere. But it's not coming out of nowhere. It's coming out of Roswell, New Mexico, this area near the New Mexican Highlands, the New Mexico Highlands. Air is sweeping down off of there. There's a lot of dry air and instability that is coming down and mixing with a lot of ripe, juicy air. You can see this is kind of the spawn point, but then they don't really get cooking as isolated cells until they get into near Brownfield, Lubbock, the southern panhandle of Texas or central Texas. They just let the warning expire for this one up near Brownfield, but the one in between Seminole and La Mesa is going to be really damaging for a while now. Where else are we looking, though? Our main stories tonight are up in the upper plains. We have some big storm sweeping off of the Rockies, getting severe thunderstorm warning and a flash flood warning near Dodge City, Kansas. We also have a special weather statement up near Concordia, Kansas. We're looking at a lot of isolated supercells, also some clusters of instability and mesoscale convective systems up here. We got a lot of severe thunderstorm watches going on, as well as a flash flood warning. And our mesoscale discussions are warning about rainfall rates of 1 to 2 inches per hour, producing 2 to 3 inches of rain locally with higher amounts, increasing coverage of showers. These storms are firing in response to increasing ascent along a surface trough analyzed by Weather Prediction Center, resulting in increased low-level convergence. Okay, so when you have rising above, that also kind of creates low-level convergence because you're now pulling something out and everything else wants to pull in, sucking with air. An area of modest but sufficient upper level diffluence. Upper level diffluence, again, great for rising air because you want flowing away at the upper levels because that again sucks up the air. This ascent is acting upon favorable thermodynamics, with the core of the most intense environment impinging into the surface trough thanks to advection at the 850 lower level jet that is arcing out of the south-southwest at 30 to 40 knots, according to regional VWP's velocity wind profiles. Vector wind profiles. I don't remember what that means. This is helping to draw northward precipitable water values that are over 1.75 inches, co-located with mixed layer Cape above 2,000 joules per kilogram, resulting resupplying the environment to enhance rainfall coverage and intensity. Recent radar estimated rainfall rates are still modestly at 0.5 inch to 1 inch per hour, but the coverage of these is steadily increased. Lower level jet is Prague to reach 40 to 50 knots, combined with the ribbon of high P watts surging northward towards 2 inches, will result in 850 to 700 millibar moisture flux that could exceed 4 sigma into northern Iowa and southern Minnesota. Wind speeds will be 1.5 to the mean of a surface trough, and it's a really detailed analysis. Repeated development of thunderstorms is likely, as supported by simulated reflectivity from the recent cams. Not only will thunderstorms regenerate and repeatedly lift northeast, but the strong ascent into the enhanced precipitable water instability will drive rainfall rates, which have a 10 to 20% chance of exceeding 2 inches per hour, according to the HREF model neighborhood probabilities. The greatest potential for the intense rates will be south of the surface front, where instability is greater, but more modest rates may be persistent to the north through regeneration. All right, so it looks like we've basically got low-level convergence, upper-level diffluence, and rising air in the moist mid-levels with a lot of precipitable water and instability. This is just a perfect recipe for a great stormy night all throughout Iowa. We're also seeing similar, we're seeing more of a more of a cyclonic activity up here when we get up into the upper plains like North Dakota and Montana into the border of Canada. They are also warned for considerable damage threats, winds up to 70 miles per hour. Looking at also a severe thunderstorm warning in South Dakota. So these are no joke. These just because they're damaging. These are this severe storm warning looks really nasty. That little isolated cell there, southwest of Winnipeg. But yeah, tonight it looks like Minneapolis, Rochester, all of the southeastern Minnesota region, as well as pretty much all of Iowa, but especially this part in the Missouri border region that is currently getting hammered with this nasty little cell. That is what we're seeing right now. We are actively seeing terrible rainstorms going on. Sorry, it's a little hard for me to focus while I've got the noise in the background. I'm sure it's hard for you guys to focus on what I'm saying too. Let's not ignore LaGrange, Georgia, Peachtree City, southwest of Atlanta, border with Alabama. We're looking at a nasty little isolated cell. That's probably coming off of, you see its movement is, there's some stretching here between Atlanta and Greenville. There's a little bit of stretching. There's some troughing going on. This is probably moving along a line of constant entropy. Let's see. Finally got a little bit of a break of the downpour of rain in southern Florida. However, it still not got much place to drain to, especially as we head towards a full moon phase of the moon. The tide rises, high tide rises, and it's not much places to drain out towards. So that is at a flood in the, what creek area was this? This is West Slopes, North Central Cascades, and passes, the Bolt Creek burn scar. So again, the Bolt Creek burn scar is a area that's not only a creek, but had wildfires in the past that doesn't have a lot of vegetation, and so is more prone to severe flash flooding events, landslides, mudslides, that kind of thing. So let's go now back to our global weather. Let's see. Oh, and I forgot to say that we are looking at a significant heat wave coming in. There's going to be, as the Weather Channel so beautifully illustrates it right now, there's going to be a large heat dome. There's a large heat dome that's making its way across the country as we speak and is going to set in late, like on Sunday, definitely on Monday, and stay there into Tuesday. And this is going to have high dew points and high low temperatures. So not only will it get up to the 90s in the daytime, it's also not going to cool off very well at night, which is not great for an area that, as I've discussed before, doesn't have great infrastructure in place for severe heat in the summer. I think I'm going to skip straight to Schumann resonances today, because I swear I'm going to do a short show today. Be really disciplined about it, because it's Saturday. It's Saturn's Day. Oh, I forgot to turn my chat on. Hello. Yes, there was a 6 today. There was a 6 in there was a 6 between in at there was a I think the 6 was at the 6 was at 7 kilometers depth, and the 5.8 next to it was registered at 0 kilometers depth. There were also some twinning. I'll just turn that back on because I'm talking about it right now. There were also some twinning 5.5 and 5.4s, both in the South Sandwich Islands near Mount Michael, here in the middle of the southern Atlantic, southern Indian Ocean. The southern Atlantic, the southern Indian Ocean, and southern West Pacific, all along the boundaries of Antarctica. So, and all pretty shallow. So there was definitely some sort of movement with this plate today. If we saw these 3 roughly equal sized quakes all triangulated around this central point. It's like, where's the center point of that? Of these 3 center points right in the heart of Antarctica. So probably right in the heart of the South Pole is where this pulse came from. Right. Yes, that was our 6 today. Go back to Schumann resonances. Looked pretty. I mean, we are falling into this pattern of a lot of horizontal bands showing up on the Tomsk-Russia station, and a lot of vertical stripes. We've also seen another parabolic pulse down here, but this time the parabolas are getting closer and closer to, like, they're getting lower in wavelength. They were showing up way down here near mode 5. Then have started showing up near mode 4, and now are showing up between mode 4 and mode 3. So that might be another indication of, I've heard theories that these might have to do with electromagnetic communication through the tectonic plates. But that is just one hypothesis. but we can see that they're definitely, even though they're so short in duration that they're hard to see on the sonogram, there definitely have been impulses of energy packed into these little wave packets of energy. These are this was an interesting one, mode 4 out here all by itself, and then mode 4 kind of led this peak right here. And by lead, I mean I know that the magnitude of 4 is technically lower than modes 1 and 2 here, but the fact that they're roughly equal magnet, our frequencies, well, I think our overall frequencies have dropped. I was looking on my other app today, and yeah, we're back a little lower. They really took a nosedive when there were some peaks in amplitude, but we're getting back to our more even nominal, like our median frequency for each mode. So let's see what the magnetospheres looked like today. Again, sorry if you're just coming in. Oh yes, and we have to share the emotes, the special emotes from two of my favorite channels. Love Brainstorm and I love Dutch. Very, very good people. I'm not ashamed to admit that I subscribed to both of them just so I could get those emotes because they're so cute. Okay, why isn't this loading? Thank you. There we go. Let's take a look at our velocity today. See if anything really tried to get through. I experienced a satellite interruption today, but I think I didn't hear very many other interruptions. We got a nice backflow. I think of it as solar wind backwashing into the Earth's radiation belts. Yeah, there were a few pulses there. There were definitely a few waves of solar wind, elevated solar wind. So looks like the density is really low. Oh yeah, but what I was saying is if you just washing clothes in the background and the dryer has something in it is a little squeaky and I don't know what part, so I can't fix it. So it's just going. Yeah, look at that density get crushed down. It's like the low density got smushed and by that little wave of solar wind, fast solar wind. And then look how thin it's gotten. Look how it's thinned out. Crazy. That feels unprotected. That feels like it's just us against the world. Let's take a look at our pressure in nanopascals. I don't even see the lensing on this one. I mean, I bet that is from the density being so low. You can really see Earth's radiation belts very clearly there, though. At least protecting us closely. Not really protecting from the very large magnetosphere is missing its pressure. I think that we've really collapsed in the forces there. Let's see what that meant for our solar weather. See what that was. I really want to see what our solar wind was like today. Yeah, kind of elevated solar wind. Getting up to at least 400 kilometers per second. Do I have a I'm sure if I went to NOAA, I could find a better. Oh yeah, and then the field strength is our direction. We experienced we reached KP5 today. Our hemispheric power was pretty up. We got up to a G1 magnetic storm. So that is probably what I experienced today. With a bit of a coronal mass ejection arrival. CME impact detected. Current solar wind speed, force 57 kilometers per second. Interplanetary magnetic field strength was at 13 nanotesla today, and -8 in the southward direction. That is crazy. Let's look at our longer data for today. Can I see the arrival, please? I see closer to, what time was that? 11. Let's see if we can go right before 12. There we go. There is the jump up in interplanetary magnetic field strength. And then right around that time, there's our big density vacillation of a big wall of very dense solar wind, and then a very much less dense area. And then the speed also peaking up over 450. That would be what our G1 activity was associated with today. So if we got a coronal mass ejection arrival today, that means that it was not shown on models. This was not predicted on models that we would get an impact of this coronal mass ejection. So coronal mass ejections that we thought was not directed towards the Earth actually did have an Earth directed component. The 11th seems a little far back. It seems a little far back for us to be getting that today. Even though I think that's the one that created our elevated protons the other day. Maybe it could have been. But maybe one of these type 2s did have a little bit more of an Earth-directed component to it. Or maybe one of these that didn't register as having a halo was Earth-directed enough to have gotten to us. Some of these that don't get classifications do still have a pretty large impact. Like that one. Interesting. Well, today we did have 38 through 47. Oh, we had 10. 10 coronal mass ejections were launched today. So we'll see if any of those had enough. That one looks pretty Earth direct, maybe a little far down, but might be headed towards us. I don't know if they've been talking on the boards about what today's coronal mass ejection detection was related to, but 3712 still gaining speed, getting healthier. I don't think it's gained any sunspots, but our proton flux is back down to normal. But yeah, that coronal mass ejection arrival put us into a KP index of 5 and a geomagnetic storm G1 geomagnetic. UTC time today. The rest have just been C-class flares, but we're still not dipping back into the B territory, so it's still pretty elevated. Let's see. Let's watch these. Let's watch the coronagraph images. If they'll let me. Sometimes they don't want to let me. Beautiful, beautiful. So this is from the 12th. So one of these is probably what arrived today. I mean, and I wonder if it happened right as there's the Cazimi, there's the Mercury Cazimi pushing out. As Mercury separates, then we get the tension and release. There's a nice one down in the southwestern quadrant. I'm going to play that again. Boom. Yeah, as Mercury comes in. So fascinating to me, the transit of the planets. The angles that the planets form to the coronal activity. And this is the much further out coronagraph, so we can see both Mercury and Venus here. We can see a lot of our proton radiation in the form of that. Our Mercury Cazimi, we got another nice coronal mass ejection in the southwest quadrant. Let's see if we can see this on. Oh, take a look at that beauty. That is a nasty looking sunspot, but I am. Do I want to do that one? Or is this not going to be? This is not colorized, but you can see the development regions. So this is 3713, and it looks nasty and complex now too. And 3712 is still acting up, but man, let's see what. I want to see. Let's look at 211 angstroms. Beautiful to see the rippling off of these prominences. And this big coronal hole headed towards us means a lot of solar wind in our direction. There was a loosening right there. Let's watch that bottom part again. That was a filament launch. That wasn't just a coronal mass ejection. That was a filament. You can see it here buckling up, and then might have something. It might cause ripples in our direction. It looks to be pretty directed downward, like southward away from the Earth, but not nothing. Again, it's so beautiful to watch these erupt like just boil and bubble and pull. And then we got another big coronal hole forming up here, but it's not quite as Earth direct, so I don't expect it to send some fast solar wind to us. This one, however, definitely has. And it's getting into the position where it is going to be linked via the Parker spirals. Like it's going to be more well linked with Earth as it goes a little bit past the middle of the sun. So we're probably going to experience some elevated solar wind coming up soon. Cool. let's see the field lines on this. Oh, finally the dryer stopped. But unfortunately, I have another load that I need to flip. Got to flip the toast. I don't know why. I never flipped toast. I don't know why that is a slang I use. Well, I know where I started using it, but I don't know why we came up with it. Flip the toast. It's maybe toast gets flipped in a pan, but anyway, here is a look at the magnetic field lines emanating from region 3712 and 3713. 3713 looks a little bit more wild and crazy, but 3712 has a lot more tight, small, high gradients, where, the same amount of charge is changed over one large field line here in 3713. That same amount of change happens over a very short distance in 3712, meaning that these are like more concentrated. This is like the orange juice from concentrate. This is like the fresh squeezed orange juice. It's just more concentrated magnetic flux here. It's going way faster. Then we see the coronal hole where they're just flying out of they're just flying out of the sun. Cool. Check out our planetary weather. Right. Oh, and it is a Saturn day and a Saturn hour. We started broadcasting during a Saturn day and a Saturn hour. So let's start by talking about Saturn. Saturn is only roughly aspecting the sun right now, and that's in a 6-degree aspect, so not a very strong square right there. So Saturn's kind of all on its own in Pisces. The main player is Neptune in Pisces, kind of stealing the show from Saturn as the formerly furthest planet and the current furthest real planet. Neptune does sometimes eclipse Saturn in that way. Neptune is making that solid T-square between, if you count that, between Black Moon Lilith, Sun and Venus and Mercury. Now, Mercury is moving faster than Venus and will catch up to Venus soon. They will conjoin. They are conjoined by degrees, but they will actually make their official exact aspect of a conjunction very soon, maybe tomorrow. I don't recall. But that is going to happen right at the end of Gemini square to Neptune in Pisces. Neptune and Pisces giving us a lot of delusion and illusion around the higher realms and lower realms, just different realms of reality. And Venus and Mercury being very communicative and benefic planets. This is, I don't know why, but I feel something happening with ocean news. Something with the ocean is going to happen. There's going to be some sort of water, I don't want to say warfare, but like maybe a major accident or some sort of research will be released, or we are going to be even more afraid of the ocean. I don't know. When are they going down there with that new billionaire sub to the Titanic place? I don't know if that's soon, but it might be. Anyway, now that squeaky noise is gone, I can't focus without it. I had gotten used to tuning it out, and now I can't think about anything else. Moon in Libra is opposing where we had our conjunction points. It just made a conjunction to the south node, or where it had eclipse points, excuse me. It's opposing Chiron right now, and is moving into Scorpio soon. And so soon our moon will be making aspects to first a square to Pluto, and then a trine to Saturn, then Neptune. And Jupiter is in its last few degrees of an official 5-degree conjunction with Pluto retrograde. It's separating from that conjunction. It's separating forward, and Pluto is separating backwards. So it's a double separation happening there. Yeah. What else? Still have Mars in Taurus doing a square to Pluto in Aquarius as well. All right. Let's go now to... Let's check out what is going on the beyond the solar system realm. Beyond the solar system. And my thing is buffering so badly, I'm gonna close out some programs. Okay. Let's start with the Words of Affirmation deck. I don't know what to call this. I just got it from a friend, and it just feels like words of affirmation to me. Manifestation, law of attraction, some sort of something like that. All right. Oh, beautiful. I see this day as being as a positive new beginning. It's never too late to have a new beginning. Today and tomorrow can be very different from yesterday if you let go and focus on today. Today and tomorrow are about your now vibration, and you have complete control over that. Look for things to feel good about and watch how everything in your life will unfold to reflect that good feeling vibration. It's got somebody cradling the sun in their arms like it's a warm, cozy cat or a sweet baby or something like that. Right. Beautiful. So you can always see this day as a positive. I'm going to see a Saturn day as a positive. I'm going to see it as a day to get shit done. I mean, it might feel bad if I don't want to do stuff and I end up just sitting around doing nothing, but it could be a great day to get shit done. Like for instance, I did, y'all can't see that I cleaned my room, but I did. And I got my salt lamp. I found my light bulbs that I knew I had. I found them while I was cleaning, so I was able to put a little light back in my salt lamp, and I gotta say, it feels better in here already. Let's look to something from the liminal space. Let's see if the liminal space has got us anything. What are we getting from the liminal space today? From the beyond. From beyond the planets. All right. Ooh. Ooh, okay. I've never gotten this one before. Invisibility mode. It's just a blank card. What does invisibility mode say? Invisibility mode says, in periods of recovery or extreme vulnerability, one may temporarily disappear as a means of self-protection. This feature allows for expedited healing as well as privacy. If not self-induced, it is possible this is a spell. So, if you feel hermitude or reclusivity, or like you're wearing the cloak of invisibility, that is a blessing. It may feel lonely, but it also is a blessing where you can do a lot of growing and healing when you are protected from outside threats or perceptions or people invading your space. Sometimes it's good to be going ghost, Danny Phantom style. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's see what I got from my holographic tarot. Oh, I also found my favorite ring. I used to wear this on my thumb all the time, but my hands got stronger and bigger, so I can't wear it on my thumb all the time now. All right, and let's see what we got coming in for... That jumped out really quickly. The Three of Cups reversed. So, Three of Cups upright is celebration, joy, and harmony in a group setting. It's got like three ladies partying, raising a toast together on it. Three of Cups reversed means that maybe we have done a little bit too much of this partying. Maybe we have socialized a little too much in Gemini season. It is time to come back to yourself, to your center, regroup, regather your own emotions instead of processing other people's emotions at the same time as yours. This is a time to turn inward and find the joy and curious complexity that you can find within yourself. How can you find this kind of connection and freedom from boredom by staying by yourself? Maybe you're not going out and having a big time with friends, but something that you do within yourself can be just as exciting if you reveal aspects of yourself to yourself that don't usually get to come out and play. For instance, today I got in tune with the cleaning my room self, which I don't often do. I'm not often aware of the self that wants to organize and go through things and find the right place for all my objects. But you won't be bored or lonely if you can find your own inner clique. What's your internal clique of cool, fun characters in your life? Invisibility mode and a new beginning. This is definitely reading through. So, with that, I guess I'm going to end today's episode. Thank you so much for coming to another episode of Today's Weather Tonight. As always, I've been your host, Cloud Hudson, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a good evening. Bye.